Hey, have you ever had one of those days where it started off pretty good? You thought you were gonna get a little something done, and then things just didn't go your way. Today was one of those days for me. It was really, really frustrating. I wanted to quit. I didn't. I'm glad I figured it out. I learned something new, and this cheap gaming computer that I thought I was gonna buy and flip is now ready. But it took all those parts to figure out the issue. A quick recap with how it all began. So I needed some power supplies, and this is a guy I deal with for parts and stuff like that. So used parts, but generally good parts. So I like to buy and sell computers. I like to repurpose computers, refurbish computers. I don't like to throw them out. So if I can find a way to get them going and sold without having to recycle them, then that's what I like to try to do. So I needed some power supplies. I got them off of him. Before I left, he said, "Hey, do you want to buy this computer? It's $25. It's not displaying anything. Don't know what's wrong. I think it's just a graphics card." Got it home, no display. I tried another graphics card, no display. Anyways, long story short, this is the motherboard. There was thermal paste or something on this side. This half was some kind of thermal paste. It was gunked up in here. I spent a lot of time cleaning it. The reason it's not reading graphics card is because these two slots, in the pin and stuff, they're covered with that thermal paste compound, and that stuff is annoying to clean up. So I tried with toothbrush and alcohol. I've been scrubbing it, no luck. So I finally said, you know what, I'm not gonna waste more time with this. Actually happened to have another one, but I didn't have any other components like case and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'll use that motherboard that I have and put the CPU into that motherboard. Tried it again, still no display. Turns out the graphics card itself wasn't displaying anything either, and it looks like on the pin itself it had some of that thermal paste or whatever stuck on it as well. And that one I didn't even try to clean it up. I'm like, okay, so that's giving an issue, no problem. It's a 1 gigabyte graphics card, 1 gig AMD 7750. It's not really good for gaming anyway, so I figured it doesn't matter. I have a 750 Ti. I paid $45 Canadian for it, so it's not a great card, but it'll get you started at for low settings, 720 1080p 40 to 60 fps for like Fortnite, CSGO, League of Legends. It does work for those. I've tested it. I put the graphics card in. It worked. It started working. Okay, so I'm like, okay, we're starting, we're going somewhere. I installed Windows. In the process of doing updates stuff, the computer shut down. I started doing it again, whatever, the computer shut down. It shut down like 2 or 3 more times, and then I figured out it was the power supply. And this is the power supply that I don't know where he gets these from, but I've had 2 or 3 of these, no name, but they all look the same and everything like that. They're absolute trash, absolute garbage. The most frustrating part after all that, I'm like, okay, I finally got this going. The computer would keep freezing anyways, and I'm like, what is going on? I tried an SSD, it didn't work. I tried all different kinds of RAM, it didn't work. It would just freeze. For some reason, I'm just like, wait, let's try the Wi-Fi adapter, which is this TP-Link one. I just don't know if I just didn't have the right driver or something like that, but either way, it's one of those things that I already spent too much time swapping all these out, motherboard, CPU. I took it out, plugged in a Wi-Fi USB, and from there it was working. So now I finished. So I had to replace motherboard, Wi-Fi antenna, power supply, and graphics card. But I got the computer going, and this is the computer now. Specs are not that great, but it's a Core i7 920, 4-core 8-thread CPU, 2.67 gigahertz. It's 8 gigs of triple channel DDR3. It's got a 480 gig SSD, and then I just stuck in a 320 gig extra hard drive just to take up space. That if the person, whoever gets this computer, wants to throw in a terabyte or 2 terabyte for extra storage, the plug, the connectors, everything's there. You just take it and swap it out. So I just put it in there, put in a 700 watt OCZ power supply. So my total cost on this computer is, so the SSD was 25, the GPU was, the 750 Ti was 45, the computer was 25, and then the last thing with the power supply was 10. So altogether you have, my cost is 105. This computer is gonna go for about 180, so, and then people haggle price. So there's a little bit of money made, but just the amount of time I spent on it in frustration, because it was one thing after the other, taking everything out and cleaning up. But long story short, now that I figured it out, I was really happy, and I'm glad that now I figured out sometimes the Wi-Fi antenna can cause that issue, and that's all it was. Since then, it hasn't malfunctioned once, but worked perfectly, and it's good to go. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one.